There are so many benefits of quitting alcohol, but today I'm going to talk about 3 that can powerfully transform your life if you give them a chance. But they will not have a chance to transform your life if you don't give yourself a chance, which means you have to quit alcohol. You don't have to, but I highly suggest that you do because these benefits are amazing. So let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? My sober curious friends, my sobriety warriors, my addiction recovery crew. Welcome back to the Sober Webb. I am Clark, the host and creator. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope that you watch the entire thing because these 3 benefits are really, really powerful. And if you leave now, you might not know what you're missing out on. And if anything, please skip to the 3rd one because that is one of the most important things I can tell you today. There are timestamps in the description below and chapters if you want to jump ahead. But first, and like always, smash that like button if you are sober, and then leave your sober date in the comments so I can smash the like button in return and celebrate you. All right, but now let's get into the benefits of quitting alcohol for today's video. And the first one is really, really important because I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of powerlessness in the face of alcohol. There was for me, and I've heard so many stories where a big thing is that everyone is so scared and confused by the fact that they can't stop once they start. And really, by quitting alcohol, we gain control back into our life. Like I said in a TikTok video, we can't control what alcohol does to us once it's in our body, but we can control if we put it into our body. And by quitting alcohol, we empower ourselves to start having more say and more control in our life on the things that we actually can control. And that is just invaluable and empowering because we get to say no to ourselves. We get to say no to our ego. We get to learn how to say no to other people. We don't have to worry so much about what might go wrong tonight when I drink again, or what went wrong last night when I blacked out and I don't know what happened anymore. We don't have to live with the remorse that comes from having that lack of control. You can take your life back by quitting alcohol and gaining some control of your life once again. I promise you, it's totally possible. And this leads me into the second benefit of quitting alcohol. I kind of already touched on this. I didn't use these words coming up, but I did talk about remorse because we lose control and we have maybe remorse about the night before or not knowing what happened. So really, what happens when you quit alcohol is you get to release and relieve yourself of guilt and shame. In my opinion, guilt and shame are 2 huge factors in why people fall into the trap of alcoholism or alcohol use disorder, or just start abusing a substance or an addiction in general, because there's some type of pain that we feel bad about in the past that's kind of feeding this guilt and shame in us. And so we start coping with it in negative ways. And then we just make bad choices, or we lose control, or of course, sadly, other people shame us because they think it's going to help us. And it feeds this cycle of guilt and shame over and over and over. I wake up, I feel guilty and shamed about last night, so I'm going to drink to take away that pain because I can't deal with it, I can't face it. And so it just keeps going. But by quitting alcohol, we get to end that cycle. And I'm not going to say that it's easy 30, 60, 90 days, even a year out, because there's lots of soul and shadow work behind the guilt and shame that has to be done. But there is an instantaneous relief because you start gaining back all this memory and time that you would lose if you keep drinking, that you're no longer going to lose because you are going to quit drinking. So I really hope that something about that speaks to you. Hit the like button so that I know that this is connecting with you in a way, because guilt and shame was a huge part of my life, and it was a huge part of my drinking habits that turned into alcoholism that I battled and recovered from. And I just want to make sure that you know that you're not alone in any of this, that there are so many people that understand exactly how you feel, and they've healed the guilt and shame, which has then healed the addiction and broken the cycle of kind of toxicity and trauma in one's life. And before I go any further, if you need any resources of any sort, please check out the books in the description below. These are books that I've used in my own journey. The 4 Agreements, The Power of Now, It Didn't Start With You. So many things that will honestly help you heal and release the guilt and shame. A lot of it that might not even be yours, and that's too heavy of a topic to get into, but check out the books. Get them, read them, soak them in, because they are valuable tools in the sobriety journey, and they will definitely help you obtain this benefit of quitting alcohol, which is releasing the guilt and shame. So check them out in the description below. And finally, the third benefit that I told you about was definitely one not to miss. Eventually, you don't have to obsess over alcohol anymore when you've quit it. There's a time when you first start getting sober, you might have to struggle through each and every day. There's a reason we say 1 day at a time, or 5 minutes at a time, or 1 hour at a time. But that is just the first part of your sober journey. If you keep going, and if you do the necessary work around the drinking habits and where it started and why it started and what pain maybe you're running from, eventually that obsession goes away. And it is the greatest relief that you can ever have. And I promise you, it is so amazing that when you start facing hardships in life and you don't want to drink, it's just the nicest feeling in the world. And it's not only a nice feeling and a relief, but it's so empowering, because you begin to validate to yourself how strong and resilient you are, and that you never even actually needed alcohol in the first place. And in all of this, I want you to keep the whole guilt and shame thing in mind. And I don't want us to guilt and shame ourselves about, oh, I should have started sooner. I wish I would have done this a year ago, because the past is the past. You cannot change it. It is what it is. This is the here and now. Today, watching this video, this is your beginning if you want it to be. And you can be free of the guilt and shame, and you can be free of the obsession, because they all tie into each other. They all kind of feed off each other bit by bit, which is part of that cycle that we get stuck in. But by quitting alcohol, you get to break that streak. And I just can't even really begin to tell you in words just how amazing it is not to even worry about drinking anymore. And I know I've mentioned this in so many videos, but I've faced so many hard things sober that would have easily broken me back in the day, that would have made me drink so much. And the fact that I don't even want to drink is just a blessing, and it's something I'm grateful for every single day. And I want it for you, and you can absolutely attain it if you just quit drinking and give yourself a chance. So there you have it, my friends. 3 probably mental, emotional, and spiritual benefits of quitting alcohol that I hope connect with you somehow, regardless of where you're at on your journey. If you are getting sober, I'm proud of you. If you're thinking about getting sober, I am so proud of you. I know how hard it is, but I want you to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel if you just take the blinders off, okay? Alcohol blinds you to the possibilities. And I promise you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even when and if you can't see it. So go back, listen to these benefits again. Check out my other videos on benefits of quitting alcohol and also relapse prevention. Check out the books in the description below. Those are powerful books that will help you do the healing needed to embrace these benefits of quitting alcohol. And of course, smash the like button if you found this video valuable. Smash the like button if you're sober. Leave your sober date in the comments. But more importantly, leave ideas in the comments of things that you want to discuss, so I can make some content based on what you need and what you want. And finally, the only thing I ask of you in all of this is just to please subscribe to my channel, because with every subscribe, with every like, with every comment, it will help this video get out to the people that need to see it. And I really appreciate your support. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you really soon. All right? Much love, much life. I'm Clark with the Sober Web. Bye.